counseling tool that I learned from a professor at Asbury Seminary up in Kentucky. He called it the trampoline of our lives. What he said was that each of us is jumping on a trampoline, and there are people around the four sides of that trampoline that are holding it. And he asked the question, who's got hold of your trampoline? And it was a pastoral way of saying, who's in your support system? Who are your family and friends that you can count on to hold you up and keep you up in times of trouble? It's a useful category for counseling. I find it's also a useful category for theology, for spirituality. If we think of our faith as the thing that's bouncing on the trampoline, we ask the question, who's got hold of that? What is your community of origin? What is your community of faith formation? You can't be going to picnics and constantly be eating out of other people's baskets. At some point, you've got to settle in. At some point, you've got to decide what is your community. Where do you belong? But once you've established that, then I think it's really important to begin to think about how do we expand that base? Who do we add to the sides of our trampoline to deepen and broaden our perspectives? I know I graduated from a conservative Christian college and chose a seminary initially based on my community of interpretation. I went to a graduate seminary that I knew taught the sorts of things that I already believed, and wasn't surprised after the first semester to realize I was reading all the same books by all the same authors who were making all the same points and covering all the same concerns that I'd already covered. And while it was my community of interpretation, I know I needed more. And I knew that I'd made the right decision when I got to the second seminary that I attended, when the professor of New Testament theology had as the textbooks two books from very opposite points of view and asked us to read and to compare. I know that in my life I have grown most when I have introduced conversation partners into my faith who don't agree with me. This goes across the spectrum. Right now, we are in conversations with Muslim and Jewish religious leaders here in Dallas on topics of faith and practice, and out of that has come a Bible study. Once a month, an Orthodox Jewish rabbi from Jerusalem comes to a Bible study here at the church, and together we study the Scripture. We talk about how we understand it from our various perspectives. We don't often agree, but both of us benefit enormously from the exchange of ideas. So, my question for you this week is really twofold. Who is your community of interpretation? Who has hold of your trampoline? Take a moment to think about the folks who have shaped your faith. Then ask yourself the question, who's not there? And who needs to be there? Who needs to be brought alongside to take hold of the trampoline so that your faith can deepen and broaden so that you can become even more faithful?